Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Floopin Magitix the Great. Today, with the help of my humble assistant S'more, we will share with you a little CG trick that is sure to astound. You see, we recently received a comment asking how to restore the UVs after you ZRemesh an object, specifically a mesh you imported from Marvelous Designer. So I gave this task to S'more. S'more, I said, concoct a spell to magically transfer the UVs from a Marvelous Designer mesh to a duplicate that has been ZRemeshed. This is what he came up with.
So here we are in ZBrush. Now this torso has UVs, which is cool. So the UVs come out of Marvelous Designer, and that's very nice, but the geometry is not that great for sculpting on. And so I want to clean this geometry up. But of course, I'm going to lose the UVs in the process, but that's okay. That's where the magic's going to happen. So to begin, I'm going to, I'll just rename this source so I don't lose track of things. I'm going to duplicate that one and CRM, which is my abbreviation of ZRemesh, which is what it's going to be in a minute. So I want to ZRemesh this and make it a little cleaner. So I'm going to go to group loops here. I've turned the loops down to 2 and I've turned the polish off, right? So run that, and that will add some edge loops. This will help to kind of keep the borders, the boundaries of the mesh in place. I'll go ahead and just group everything. So now our edge loops and the rest of it are all one nice big group. I'm going to subdivide it a couple of times. I just think this will kind of help retain some of those details, and then we shall run ZRemesh. So target polygon 5000 ZRemesh, and cool. So there you go. So now we have much cleaner topology, which will be easier to sculpt on. And you'll notice, actually, I shall run edge loops on this again. All right, and now as we subdivide, you've got this much cleaner geometry, right? It's nice and smooth but still with all the details, right? So that's cool, except that we've lost our UVs in the process. But here's the fun part. So here's the original mesh, right? And here's a new, nice clean topology, ZRemeshed. We can copy UVs from this mesh to this mesh, and I'm going to show you how we do that. Okay, so here we are in Maya, and this is the original mesh we got out of Marvelous Designer, and here is our new and improved mesh that we have we've run ZRemesh on, edge looped, and ZRemesh, and you can see, I think, a little more clearly here in Maya just how buttery smooth the ZRemesh model is versus the kind of the ugly normals and artifacts of the original mesh that we got out of Marvelous Designer. So that's why we're doing this. We're cleaning this mesh up so we get something a lot nicer. However, of course, what's happened in the process is that we've lost these UVs. The new meshes does not have those UVs, and this is where the magic happens. Now, what I'm about to show you, I almost guarantee you could find the same tool in Blender or 3ds Max. 99% sure. I'm just familiar with Maya, so that's why I'm using Maya here. So the first thing for this trick to work, the first thing is that they have to be in the same world space, what we call world space. So and that, the nice thing, because these meshes, the ZRemesh model was built from the other mesh, they literally occupy the exact same world space. The vertices are in the same volume, both meshes share the same volume, and that's going to be very useful. So keeping the outliner up here. This is basically a list of meshes in the scene. I am going to pull up our magic toolbox, the transfer attributes tool or concept. And you might have seen me in previous videos use this tool to transfer normals from one mesh to another to, so we can make nice soft looking hair cards. So here we are again, but this time the attribute that we want to transfer is the UVs. So in the first section, attributes to transfer, I've turned on UVs, and of course everything else is off. So UV sets, all, and now, the commonality, so for this tool to work, for this trick to work, you have to have a common attribute. And as we've just discussed, that is world space. They exist in the same space in the world. So my sample space is going to be set to world. And without further ado, we want to select the first mesh, the Marvelous Designer model, and our new improved mesh, the ZRemesh model. And now we're going to click apply. And with any luck, when we pull up the attribute editor now, there's the Marvelous Designer file. I'll hide that. Here's our new and improved ZRemesh model with UVs this time. So there you go. So, and just to kind of prove it, I mean, of course, you can see the UVs, but I'll throw on a checkerboard so we can see what that looks like. And there you go. There's that is the seam line. But that would basically be okay. That would work. It's not a perfect line. That's the mesh's fault, not mine. Well, mine for making the mesh, but anyway, you get the idea. So now we have UVs, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the magic. Now, before we leave, the elephant in the room here is that you probably want some thickness on this mesh. And to do that, I'm going to use the extrude function, and I'll just do a quick UV layout, and I will shunt those off to the side, doing that so that they don't overlap when we extrude this puppy. So now we're going to go up to mesh and extrude, just reverse them back. And now, in the process of extruding, we've added this edge, which we can easily isolate, at least in Maya. You would grab a face and then double click on the next, and because that's a continuous loop, it'll select all those faces. And I think for demonstration purposes, that will be good enough. We could unitize those, we could straighten them out, but not needed right now. And then that will make it easier to, say, for example, grab this face and go, oopsie, we'll grab these faces and we will go select UV shell and just shunt those over to the right. And similarly, on these two faces here, same thing, select the shell, shunt them to the right. Just a real quick and dirty UV layout, but that gives you the idea. So now we have our shirt, we've got UVs, and we can take that back into I'd probably just, back into ZBrush, I'd probably just add a couple of extra loops here so that when when you smooth this in ZBrush, you'll keep the edges similarly here. I'll just add a couple loops to the shoulders. And Bob's your auntie. We're done. There you go. Take that back into ZBrush, add a couple of subdivisions, and finish it up. Hey, so that would be all for this week. Hope this was useful and not too boring. Anyway, blessings to everybody. God bless you. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and yeah, happy modeling.